What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show. We discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below, as I will keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country. Also, thanks for hitting the like button for us down below. In this video, we're going to talk about how President Biden's gas tax holiday that he's calling for might not save you much depending on how much you drive. And fueling calls for inflation stimulus checks instead. You can see that right here directly from Yahoo News. We have a lot of different things to cover here in today. You can also see here that the U.S. House of Representatives also now passed the gun safety bill, sending the measure to President Biden's desk. This is the same bill that the Senate just passed. Now the House has passed it as well. Some people consider this a major step for gun safety after the Uvalde school shootings, where so many children died, and the Buffalo shootings, which are just really the two that made major headlines. There's been over 250 mass shootings in this country, just basically up till June 1st or June 2nd here. Mass shootings are only the shootings that have 4 or more people shot in them. So think about how many shootings happen here on a daily basis. This is a bipartisan bill that was negotiated by Republicans and Democrats, led by Republican Senators Mitch McConnell and Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn. Remember, Uvalde happened in Texas. So Republicans had a lot to say in here. It's a lot of people say it's a step in the right direction, but they could have did a lot more, including enhancing background checks for everybody that goes to purchase a gun, banning assault style rifles, um, which they didn't do, banning large capacity magazines, which even a lot of military veterans and people in the military, I've had a lot of comments of people saying, I kind of like having one, but I really don't think that civilians need to have one. And same thing with the large capacity. I get that they're, maybe fun to shoot or something like that. Uh, Interesting story. My wife has actually shot one. Maybe one of these times when she's on the show, I'll have her tell you the story. Interesting footnote there. But yeah, one of these, or yeah, I already mentioned that. But one of these days, you know, um, maybe we'll have a little bit more. I personally think, a waiting period, maybe 7-day waiting period. I think that would do a lot of good for the country, because really that wouldn't cost anybody money, nothing like that. But that would probably, think about how many shootings could not happen just because people had some time to calm down. Imagine the lives that could be saved just with something as simple as that. Now, the gun industry wouldn't like it because, well, they want to get those, salesman sales, right then and there. You ever heard a salesman say, when you've made the sale, stop talking and take the sale? You don't make somebody wait 7 days. So the gun industry and the NRA wouldn't like it, but the lives saved would like it. So, but it's alas, this is something better than nothing, I guess. Yeah, so the House passed this bill on Friday, sending the measure to President Biden's desk, marking the first time in nearly 30 years that Congress has approved a major legislation to combat gun violence. And yeah, you can see our 193 Republicans voted against it. Only 14 Republicans voted with Democrats in supporting the measure. They had more Republicans in the Senate vote for it than in the House. Is that not crazy? Wow. I guess they don't want to have any gun safety measures at all. The Republicans that voted for it on the screen here: Fred Upton from Michigan, Mike Turner from Ohio, Steve Shabbat from Ohio, Anthony Gonzalez, the football player from Ohio State, I believe. Yeah, good for them. Liz Cheney from Wyoming, Chris Jacobs, Brian Fitzpatrick, Tony Gonzalez. Is he a football player from Indianapolis Colts? Maybe. Maria Elvira Salazar, Dave Joyce from Ohio. Look at all these Ohio guys stepping up, man. And Ohio has a Republican governor here. John Cato, Adam Kinzinger, Pete Meyer, Tom Rice all voted with the Democrats in favor of the bill. 15 Republicans from the Senate voted yes, including Mitch McConnell, joined the Democrats in supporting the measure in the chamber. President Biden said the most significant gun safety legislation to pass in decades. Quote, each day that passes, more children are killed in this country. The sooner it comes to my desk, the sooner I can sign it, and the sooner we can use these measures to save lives. The measure calls for enhancing background checks for gun purchasers, but only for teenagers between ages 18 and 21, creating a federal offense for individuals who obtain firearms through straw purchasers or trafficking, clarifying the definition of a federally licensed firearm dealer. The latter change would require the people to regularly purchase and sell firearms register as federal firearm licensings, which would oblige them to complete background checks for firearm transactions, because there's a loophole right now where you can not get background checks when buying through people that aren't firearms licensees. The bill would also allocate $750 million to help states administer red flag laws, which seeks to keep them people who are deemed a threat to themselves or others through court systems. But I have a feeling a lot of states are not going to even set those up. So we will see. It also closes the boyfriend loophole, barring individuals from possessing a firearm for at least 5 years if they are convicted of a misdemeanor crime of violence involving a current or former romantic partner. Also, the Education Department just agreed to cancel $6 billion in student loans as part of a settlement agreement. Yeah, so here is the details on this. It says, U.S. Department of Education agrees to settle a years-long lawsuit over denied borrower defense applications. The department will forgive 100% of all loan balances that qualify here and refund prior loan payments. Wow, that's cool. They will refund prior loan payments and repair credit histories for about 200,000 borrowers that attended certain for-profit schools. Those schools were found to have engaged in misconduct by the Education Department. After 3 years of litigation, the U.S. Department of Education agreed to settle a lawsuit brought against it regarding billions of dollars in debt forgiveness for hundreds of thousands of borrowers, effectively canceling $6 billion in student loans for the students who attended these certain schools. The second class consists of about 64,000 students that took out federal student loans but did not attend a school on the aforementioned list. These students will have their loans canceled, application considered, and get a decision based on how long their application has been pending. Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona issued a statement on the news of the settlement saying, "We are pleased to have worked with the plaintiffs and reached an agreement to deliver billions of dollars of automatic relief to approximately 200,000 borrowers, and we believe that it will resolve plaintiffs' claims in a manner that is fair and equitable for all parties." Okay, if you think you might be eligible, or if you have a family member who might be eligible, you can apply today at this website, studentaid.gov/borrower-defense. You can pause the video here and write down this link, okay? I'm also going to show you you might want to maximize your phone screen or I'll try to make this bigger here in a second, show you all the schools that are eligible, and you might be eligible here as well. Um, you can see here, there's the link up there. Okay, write that down. You can pause the video here if you need to see that or rewind it. Have you applied for borrower defense? If your answer is no, then go to this website. If your answer is yes, you can see here, did you go to one of these schools? And your answer is yes, then your loan is canceled. Okay? You can kind of see here. I'll send you a link to this article in the description below as well. Okay, but let me zoom this in here so you can see. Okay, this is about as large as I can make it. I'll show you this here. You can pause the video and then I'll come back around for this last column here. Okay, I'm just gonna scroll here quickly. And again, you can pause the video here to see this. Share this video with anybody you know that went to any college and you think might be of that, they might be able to get their student loans canceled. $6 billion in student loan cancellation here. Okay, you can see there's a lot here. And there's a lot of them. Okay, I'm gonna come back here in a second. Just kind of trying to show this here, as you can see here. Then I'm also going to come over here to this um, one over here, so you can see this last column, and you could still see these other columns here. So just to give you an idea here of all these lists here. And again, feel free to pause the video here at any point if you want to look at this in a slower pace. Then you can literally pause the video and take your time, and you'll see all these schools in paused format. Okay, so there is all the schools. There's a lot of them. $6 billion going out to help people here. I mean, this is literally basically a stimulus because $6 billion of student loan cancellation just happened. And there's probably going to be more here as the president is still considering $10,000 of student loan cancellation for everybody that has federal student loans, and maybe even something for private student loans as well. We will have to see. I'll keep you up to date here on that as well. But remember, there's also been like $25 billion of student loan cancellation that you might be eligible for as well. You just need to go to the this. It's mostly for people with permanent disabilities. Their schools defrauded them, were closed on them. So very similar situations in the past, and you might be eligible for that as well. So I'll link you to the website, the official student government loan cancellation website. There, you got to be very careful because if anybody calls you about student loan cancellation, it's almost surely a scam. I don't know if the government will call you, but if they do, you better like be 100% sure that it's not a scam because 99% of the time it's a scam. Unless you've like I don't know if they're going to call people on this, but it's doubtful. But just be very, very careful. If anybody gets their student loans canceled on this, I think there might be some automatic. They may do this automatically, as you've seen in that thing there. But let me know in the comments. I have seen some comments from some people that got theirs canceled from previously, but I'm trying to help as many people as possible. You can also see this here. Biden's gas tax holiday, which he's calling on Congress now officially to do, might not save you much. It really depends on how much you drive, how much you save. He's also calling on states to pause the federal or the state gas tax as well. And when states pause their gas tax, um, really, that could be several states have 50 cents per gallon, and the federal gas tax is 18.6 cents. You could be saving 70 cents per gallon, or even maybe a little bit more. That kind of adds up. That really adds up. It really depends on your state, and a lot of states have already paused their state gas taxes, and a lot of states are considering doing it even more. But you can see here, this is fueling calls for inflation stimulus checks instead. And remember, we've already seen 3 stimulus checks. We've already seen unemployment bonus checks or stimulus checks, whatever you want to call them. They started off at $600 per week, and then they were $300 per week. And then we had former President Trump pass the executive orders, which basically took leftover stimulus money or disaster relief money and reallocated them with the executive order. So that happened. Remember, a lot of people think that that can still happen today with Biden with the leftover stimulus money because it's been approved by Congress. So it's stimulus money that's already approved by Congress and again could be reallocated just like Trump did. If Trump did it, Biden could do it in very similar fashion. We'll have to see what they're going to do with that leftover money. But we've already had 3 stimulus checks. We've had unemployment bonuses. We had 2 rounds of paycheck protection program. We've had SNAP raises. We had a 25% permanent raise. We've had the SNAP monthly checks. The SNAP monthly checks that have gone on in multiple different states. Basically the pandemics. How do I even say this? The SNAP bonus checks that are going out in a lot of states based on if states want to send them out, want to pay the extra money, the governors and the state legislature approve it. That's still going on in a lot of states. I'll have an update for you here as we get close to July here. So we got a lot of bonuses still going on there because of the pandemic, and we've had a lot of different things. We have rent assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance. Most of that's still going on. Some of the rent assistance has run out. Almost none of the homeowners assistance has run out. That's $9.9 billion. I have links for that stuff down below in the description of this video as well. So that's where the link for the student loan forgiveness stuff will be. Hopefully I don't forget that. But the other links I have in there by default, those are always in there if you want to see those. But you got to kind of think of all this different stuff that has gone on during this pandemic, which the pandemic is still going on. I know some people say the pandemic's over, which it's not. It's the federal pandemic emergency is still going on. There's actually a declaration of the pandemic by the government. So it's not like it's an opinion thing. There's actually a declaration emergency, a declaration, and the government still has that going on. So it's not like an opinion thing. It's an actual declaration that's still extended. That's still going on. And in case you're wondering here, how many people are in case you're wondering about the actual virus itself, on June 24th, the day the most recent data we have in here so far, the day that Roe versus Wade was struck down, we had 155,000 new people catch the virus. 155,000. That's a lot. And remember, this does not even include anybody that took an at-home test and didn't actually go to an official testing facility. Which you got to think that that's a lot of people nowadays because millions and millions and millions of people have those at-home tests, which you can get from covidtests.gov. Yeah, you just go to covidtest.gov. You can order them right here. You can see here every home in the U.S. is eligible to order a 3rd round of free at-home tests. So 3 rounds, and like the last round I think is 8 order of 8 tests. So you got to think how many people just have these for free. There's no shipping, there's no handling. If you haven't ordered these, do so because they're free. And then like if they test positive, I mean, how many people are then going to an official testing facility to double test? I mean, you got to think not a lot, right? So that's 155,000 people that tested positive yesterday. Did I look at that? June 21st, 209,000 people tested positive. Yikes, 209,000 people. And you look at this here, 1.01 million deaths and 86.8 million cases in the US alone. Over 1 million people have died from this virus in the US alone. Think about that, 1 million people. And in worldwide, over 6 million people have died. And this does not even include China because they're just literally like not even here in the top like list because they just don't even report. They say that, oh no, even though we have 4 times the population of the US, we just no, we don't have any. We don't have any cases or deaths. We're not even we're not even anywhere up here. Yeah, I know. So now you got to think here if we're averaging 155,000, 200,000 cases, some of these recent data, I just showed you the data here. This is right from Google, which allocates it from, you know, the CDC and all these hospitals that allocated, you know, you know, uh, collaborate the data. Um, how many people are getting an at-home test and not going? So how many cases are there really? I mean, your guess is as good as mine. Is it 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 per day? That's every single day, new cases. I mean, I know, I had a cold a few weeks ago now at this point. My wife had it too. My son had it for like 1 day, man. He had it and he was like fine for the next day. Me and my wife had it for several days. I actually got a Z pack from my doctor just to kind of help me get over it quicker. But we just took the at home tests and it was negative. So I mean, it wasn't the virus. It was a cold virus or something else. Um, we weren't really like that sick, but it was just kind of like nasally and stuff. But if it was the virus, I wouldn't have then. Well, first of all, you can't even go to your doctor if you have it because you don't want to get the doctor people sick. I don't even think they'll let you in. You have to go to like a testing facility or like a drive-through CVS because they don't want anybody to they don't want to get sick. You have to like go to one of these official places. And why would I do that if I had an at-home test tell me I already have it and I knew I was already sick with something. So if the at-home test told me I was sick and I already knew I was sick with something, I already know I'm sick. There's no reason to go outside, risk people getting the virus, and then test again. So that's the problem with the numbers now is we really don't know how many people are testing. We know that that's like the minimum number, 155,000, 209,000. That's the minimum. It could be double that or triple. Who knows? There's literally tens of millions of people that have these free test kits. Don't even count the people who actually just walk into CVS or something and buy them there or have them from before they were free. There's millions of people that have those. But as you can see here, because inflation's so bad, really inflation stimulus checks, um, you could see fueling calls for this. And it really, some economists are saying this as well. President Biden is urging Congress to pause the gas and diesel taxes for 3 months through September in an effort to provide much needed relief to motorists being punished at the pump as the national price of gas hit a record of $5 a gallon. And it's expected to increase in the summer with higher demand as travel heats up. However, some experts say that halting the gas tax, which currently sits at 18.4 cents per gallon, might not be as beneficial as you think and are calling for other forms of relief. Some of these experts suggest that indirect relief would be the best approach and recommends sending out a check that Americans don't necessarily need to use towards gas. They could use it towards everything, anything, basically a fourth stimulus check that you could use towards anything. This could alleviate inflationary pressures for everyone, not just motorists. You could use it for food. You could use it for rent. You could use it for baby formula. You could use it for medicine. If they don't need it for gas, they'll be wise and save it. Well, I mean, 64 to 66% of people are behind on bills. So the majority of people are going to use it for food, gas, and rent and stuff they need it for. While the president meets with Congress to discuss potential gas tax holidays, he's calling for state and local governments to do what they can to help motorists as well, whether this means suspending their own gas taxes or helping consumers in other ways. Some states have already taken action. Connecticut and New York have temporarily suspended their state gas taxes. I believe those are both going on right now, while Illinois and Colorado have delayed planned tax and fee hikes as well. Other state and local leaders are considering options like state gas tax pauses rebate checks and relief payments. And if you've been watching my channel, you know a lot of states are doing that. A lot of states are doing that. Depending on how a rebate check is designed or a rebate card could be more closely targeted towards struggling households by, say, sending only rebates, whether they're checks or cards. You know, the word rebate is kind of weird. I think there's kind of skirting around using the word stimulus right now just because of inflation. But that's really what it is. It's not really a rebate where you have to buy something and then get a rebate back, but it's really a stimulus to households with income below a particular cutoff, basically low and middle income, just like the last stimulus. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I will keep you up to date here with everything. Make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel if you haven't yet. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on new videos that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. After you click the subscribe button, then click the bell icon so you get notifications when we go live and you don't miss out on any new videos. You can click here to watch my newest video next, and you can click here to see my newest stimulus check video that just came out. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.